Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. News, Bitcoin, charts, alpha, in that order. You know exactly where you are. You know exactly what you're watching. So let's not waste any time. Let's get in on it. It's getting a bit late. So we'll watch this and we'll talk about it. So CoinDesk, today the news is Federal Reserve's Powell. We don't want to strangle crypto innovation, but sector is a mess. Powell did a bit of speaking today. You can find a lot more of the video in all over the news, really. He mentioned crypto. As we can see, the central bank's chairman said the Fed is sticking to its warnings that banks should be quite cautious about getting involved in digital assets while they work on the CBDC. So ironic, huh? But, you know, to Powell's defense, seems like not that bad a bloke, has done everything he said he's going to do so far from what I've seen. Another thing, but yeah, there's plenty more to talk about, plenty more to look at. Interest rates, hey, he just keeps saying the same thing. He's not stopping until inflation's back to 2%. Just going to keep raising them. Funny though, actually, now that you say it, funny though, he's slowed down on the hikes while he says that. This is some nice news here. According to data from MarketWatch, the leading cryptocurrency Bitcoin has outpaced the tech-heavy Nasdaq as well as the S&P and Dow Jones. As of March 6, Bitcoin recorded 32.23% year-to-date return. It's just one of those things where you just keep hearing it, you keep seeing it. Now we're going to flick to the charts, the Bitcoin charts, and we're going to talk about what's going on here. This is very simple. Daily chart, one candle equals 1 day. So what's going on here you want to see? This is where everybody draws a trend line. 3 touches, 3 pivot points is a trend line. So you know how many, especially it's during the week, it's Wednesday in Australia, Tuesday in America. All eyeballs are on Bitcoin right now and the other markets. And look, there's a trend line. It's by definition a trend line, as you can see here. It's also a channel, rising parallel channel. You can just draw it straight like that. So it's flagging up. It's typically pretty dangerous and a lot higher probability of it breaking down, finding a bigger low. So a bigger low down here. But at the same time, listen, all right, these trend lines fall short in comparison to horizontal support and resistance. So if we go from this previous low right here, it hasn't broken it. So although it has broken down this trend line, it is still technically a higher low until candles are closing below this. So I'll bring this up a little bit right there. Until candles are closing below this purple line, it's still a higher low, still an uptrend. You may have read in your trader textbooks that people that are just bullish or just bearish suffer the most pain. So we are ready to turn bearish as soon as there's candle closes and confirmation. So what I want to see is a couple of days below this purple line. And all right, it's going down to find another low, probably along this trend line here. You know what I mean? Higher low there. But until that happens, it's just a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Where's the rest? Now time for the alpha. Although you may have seen that the funding rate and the long short ratios are all pointing to there's a lot more bulls than bears. I will show you actually one thing real quick with the funding rate. You see here how it goes negative for a bit. Goes negative for a bit when people finally start piling in on the shorts. Same sort of thing potentially. Goes negative a bit. Goes negative a bit. Little flush of the lows. Just same thing here. Look, negative for a bit. Flush of the lows. And these early longers get rewarded. Negative for a bit. Flush of the lows. Early longers maybe get rewarded. This is the real alpha that I wanted to show you. It's the Kingfisher liquidity map. So you want to learn about how the Kingfisher liquidity map works, I'll see you in the blockchain bulls. But for now, if you look, you can see from 22k all the way to 20k or 20 and a half, there's bugger all liquidations to be had on BTC, USDT, Binance, the biggest trading pair, the biggest exchange, the highest volume traded trading pair in existence for Bitcoin. But if you look at the other side of the horse, look at this. Massive, even just flicking to that one single price at 23.4k, that will liquidate $56.3 million in theory if there was no stops and no pre-exit. So this little dash below 22k, for me personally, I think it's quite nice until it's not. So, you know, you may remember from all these other times when the market is bullish, and it is. Remember, we looked at the golden cross yesterday. You may remember that, or you may have thought to yourself, what about all those, look at all those times where it come back and I didn't buy the dip on that uptrend. Fuck. But then in times like this, you get scared. So have a little think to yourself about what you might be doing. And I'll see you tomorrow.